you have a thing really that you're not afraid of, like the canceled thing, supposedly.
Like being canceled?
Right.
What is it? What's canceled?
No,
Has
not,
anyone been canceled?
No, ew, gross word. I agree.
Sorry, it's okay.
Yeah.
Has anyone been canceled?
I mean, technically.
If you've done something illegal.
Technically, are there people that aren't coming back? Yeah.
Like who?
Like a recent example?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not putting you on the spot.
No. Like a recent example I was thinking of.
I mean, Mel Gibson has 13 movies in production.
No.
Aziz is on tour. Louis is bigger than ever.
Louis bigger than ever?
I mean, yeah, in terms of like ticket sales and stuff. Shane Gillis bigger than ever.
Okay, Ashton Kutcher. Like, can he come back?
But what was he going to come back for anyway? I'm just curious. Were we?
No, but like they were Hollywood kind of royalty.
Yeah.
And by the way, I thought of him because I literally, when I was preparing for this interview, was like, you were on Punk'd.
Yeah.
Wait, when you were on Punk'd, you weren't allowed to be known because you had to trick people.
Yeah.
So then you were anonymous.
It's actually kind of a great first job because you have to be anonymous to do it.
Right.
And then you get all this exposure.
Right.
You know?
Wait, were you on when Dax was on? Was it you?
No, he was first season.
He was first and you were?
Third season, the hidden season. Remember there was like a secret season that was like, he canceled it. Like he went on.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's over.
Yes.
And then whatever.
Yes.
I love what you're saying because I am obsessed with people that get canceled for like bad judgment instead of like I pulled my dick out at work or like I, did something or I had blackface or something. Like J-Lo, it's wild to watch just this gradual people just going, something doesn't smell right. Like we don't, when like you need to get out of a relationship, you talked about this one, a toxic relationship, and you kind of never get out because there's not one thing. You're kind of like, that was kind of weird, but but then they cheat on you and you're like, oh, thank God.
Yes.
I just needed one like irrefutable.
Are you there though with her or no?
No, I'm just
not personally.
I'm just
You're watching. Okay, but like Ashton Kutcher.
But what do you think?
Wrote the letter for Danny.
What do you think about it was what turned you off? I'm just fascinated by this.
By the way, and not to be canceled myself, by the way, was like, everyone, let's hold up. For 1 second.
I'm obsessed when someone's apology is what gets them canceled. And they were actually doing okay until they apologized. And you read the apology and you're like,
no,
wait,
not the read, babe. It was a video at this, like, it was a video in like
the
ranch.
On a shirt with buttons. Yes. Can we get are you wearing a t-shirt? Like what? There was some kind of like little
It was a little freaky. It was a little
do you want to
ominous.
Memorize? Do you want to memorize what you're going to make it feel like it's coming from the heart?
It didn't. It was icky. Is it cancelable?
Like, are we bothering you? Do you need more time for this apology?
It was not good. But should they be tainted and never come back? That's my question. That's what it seems like right now. Even though she was at some like she had a movie, by the way, come out with Michael Keaton because I got like the press release for it, and I was like, in another world, Mila Kunis would have been doing press for this movie.
Yeah.
And this movie is kind of like because of that
One thing I will say is that, and I don't know the truth. I don't know.
Yeah.
Usually predators and monsters don't let everyone know they're sexual monsters. This is how they get away with it. I'm sure there is a strong case that Mila is awesome, dude. That Mila and Ashton didn't know he was doing all this stuff. Scientology does an amazing job of covering it up and permitting it. Like, I think we're all making the assumption that he knew about all this stuff and then wrote a glowing review.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he did or not. I've been in situations where, look, I'm a female comic. I'm around a bunch of guys. They don't tell us what they're doing.
Right.
No one's like, hey, I raped this girl last night. Like, no one, they do it in secret. So I don't know the answer. I feel like, also, who knows? I tour a lot because I love it and I'm a stand-up and I really appreciate being around, like, for lack of a better word, what do we say that's not normal or average? Like real people? Mm-hmm. For the most part, I think they're kind of like, can you just make a good movie and I'll watch it? Like, we don't expect anyone in Hollywood to be good people. We assume you're all trash scumbags. This is a business that was built on the back of a 3-year-old toddler named Shirley Temple. Shirley Temple was the Margot Robbie of the 1920s. She's like twerking on sailors' laps. Like there's no mom in sight. Like nothing. Like she was like a sex symbol. Like Baby was a sex symbol. I don't think people expect Hollywood people to be good. They're just like, make a good movie. I need something to do tonight. When something's like really obvious in front of you and nobody saw it, like did he change his name 3 3 times. No one thought that was weird. You guys thought that was cool? Like, that's what you do when you're in legal trouble. You're like, my name's Sean John now. Like, who? Diddy? No, who's that guy? Like, they were, like, what are you talking? No one thought that was weird?
We're dumb.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Huh?
Like, when billionaires are on boats, like, yeah, there's no maritime law. There's no laws on international waters. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's like, oh, people don't just take boats. No, there's the nicest hotel in the world is right here, and they choose to be docked out there 500 yards. That's not weird to anyone? Like, punked. I always felt like that was me.
Oh, you felt like, that was crazy. What was the craziest punked you did?
There was one with Jennifer Love Hewitt that was especially cruel.
Oh, love her comeback, by the way, you guys. She has a new movie on, like, Hallmark or something.
Yeah.
Love it for her.
Yeah, and we became friends, and she's like such a sweetheart. It was like getting her to go to an audition with Mark Forrester, who's a really big director at the time. And I was like the receptionist or something for this fake meeting. And it was like Jennifer Love Hewitt, who was, obviously very famous, but like this guy like did movies that won Oscars. So it was a fake meeting that she was going to meet with Mark Forrester.
Oh.
And then she gets there and it's like a joke,
Oh.
And I remember like at the time I just was so broke. I was $40,000 in debt. I'm like getting a job. Like I have to do this job, And then it just
But you felt bad about it
awful,
even then?
Awful.
Really?
Chris Klein, there was one that felt really cruel. There was a time where just like pranking people like was just our kink. And it ultimately is like, we're going to embarrass them. You know what I mean? I'm going to embarrass you.
But they had to sign a release after. They had to like agree for it to go.
Yeah, they did. But you're so grateful that the situation's not real. Of course you're going to sign it,
But that's
I'm not coming out against punks. Like, it was fun. I think it made a lot of people laugh.
Yeah.
I think you just assume when people have money or they're on TV, like their feelings don't matter.
Did you get any vibes from Ashton then? Was he nice?
I always liked Ashton. I don't know him that well. Like he seems like very like an entrepreneur. Like I think it's cool that he's like, I'm not going to do this acting thing anymore. Like, let me go do this other thing.
So many people aren't doing acting things anymore. Why? People like rather be in business.
See, maybe this is like, I like when someone's like, I'm good at lying for a living. Like, I don't know if I need to lie and wear makeup for a living. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're just a professional liar. People are always like, how come that actor was like so mean? I'm like, they pretend for a living.
But here's my thing about Hollywood. I get why the public is mad. I don't get how Hollywood listen, because a lot of time Hollywood doesn't listen to like the public, right? They're like, great, you hate this person, we don't care.
Yeah.
Here it was like, oh, you guys are turning on them.
But it's also Hollywood turns on people for being over 40 if you're a woman. You know what I mean?
Lately it's been kind of like the 40s era, which I've been loving.
Tell me.
You don't feel it?
Tell me what you're seeing.
I'm seeing the comebacks. There have been some comebacks. Pamela Anderson, what's up?
It's not progress until they don't call her brave.